I was a virgin until I was 23. I was like too scared to actually make a move. In this last week or so, like I've been going on dates every day for like the past week because I've finally got over this fear and like been able to start doing it.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to this series of inspirational stories from sufferers who've overcome social anxiety. Today, I'm really happy to be joined by my former client and friend, Zakille. Zakille is from Portland in the US, but instead of me going ahead and doing any of that, I'll hand it over to you. Zakille, if you could just introduce yourself and give some information about your background and how you were struggling.
Yeah, I'd say it started in like middle school. I think when I turned like 11 or 12, I started to become like really self-conscious and like have all these beliefs about myself. Like I'm weird or awkward or like socially inept. And then that kind of carried on throughout high school, or because I was believed these thoughts about myself. I was very shy and like antisocial. And so I always had difficulty making friends in school and fitting in, and like was always a bit of a outcast essentially. Um and then yeah, after when I turned about like 23, I started like really working on this stuff and like trying to transform and just overcome this problem because I realized it wasn't actually anything wrong with my brain. Like I'm not stupid, I'm not crazy, and I don't have autism. So whatever's going on here, we can work on this. I realized like there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just shy and I'm like holding myself back. So started going through the work to kind of come out of my shell more and learn social skills and learn how to express myself.
Brilliant, man. And I mean, you've been on a pretty radical transformation arc, right, recently, and we can definitely get into that in a moment. I was just wondering, what was the turning point for you then when you realized you wanted to change and what made you reach out for coaching? What was it that was that catalyst?
So I'd say when I was about 23, I like got more into like self-development. Basically started reading like self-improvement books and started working out and just reading about social skills and also just trying to put myself out there through like exposure therapy. And then I think I started really going for it when I was like in this past year and a half when I signed up with you is when the ball really started rolling.
That kind of segues nicely into my next question, which was, what did that look like for you when we were working together? Because I remember that time quite clearly. But for people watching, would you be able to sort of walk them through a little bit of your experience? Like, what were the kind of things you were doing to try and come out of your shell, like you said?
Yeah. The main thing we were doing was like going practicing like exposure therapy. So we made like a fear ladder, right? And then every week we would like review how it went working up the fear ladder. So like for example, my goal was to start cold approaching women like on the street and talking to them and asking them out. So like yeah, we kind of made a fear ladder towards that, which was like different grades of like uncomfortable social exposure. Um, just starting with really simple stuff like um, doing things like going around giving out coffees in my food cart pot at work, just starting conversations with strangers. I did make a lot of progress with it, but I didn't get all the way to cold approach until I came and met up with you here in Da Nang.
And that I just wanted to touch on that because um, you actually took the really kind of brave and radical step of jumping on a plane, flying from the US, coming over to Vietnam, and working out here with me to work on your things that you wanted to address, right? Predominantly having more relationships or actually just being more communicative and going on more dates and that kind of stuff, right? So you took the big step of doing that.
Yeah, definitely. I think in order to like accomplish something, you really want to be able to focus all of your energy on that one thing so your attention isn't scattered. So like I took the time and actually set up my life to come so that I could come here and just focus on this one problem and like overcoming it so before I move on to the next thing. So that was like kind of my mindset coming out here. And also I realized like whatever you're doing in life, that helps so much to be around like-minded people. So that's what I wanted to do, is come and be around like-minded people.
And how has that all worked out for you now? Like, where are you now as opposed to, being that outcast kid, especially after this intensive period out here training in Da Nang? What are things like for you now?
I mean, a big focus for me is like has been like getting my dating life in order and like having more relationships with women. Believe it or not, like when I was a virgin until I was 23 because I couldn't I was very introverted, so I didn't have a lot of opportunities. And the opportunities that I did have, I was like too scared to actually make a move. So it wasn't until I was 23 and started like doing self-development and working on myself that I was able to lose my virginity finally. I really wanted to be able to meet women in person and not just online on a dating app, because to me, it just really bothered me that like that was something that I was scared to do. Like I felt like it was holding me back in life so much, where I like see all these beautiful women around and like I wouldn't be able to go up and just like talk to them. And it's like, so I wanted to get over that fear in particular. And like that's been a goal for a long time. So now, yeah, I finally started doing this in Da Nang. Actually, in this last week or so, like right before I'm about to leave Da Nang, I kind of had a breakthrough with it, with doing it on my own. I've been, yeah, going on dates every day for like the past week because I finally got over this fear and like been able to start doing it. So it's been,
That's amazing. That's so amazing, man. And what I love about it as well, your whole story as well, is like from a physical perspective, you are obviously a good looking young guy, right? And could have had the world at his feet, but your mental operating system was not aligned with your physical hardware, if you like, right? And your whole work has been to upgrade the quality of your thoughts and your beliefs and everything so that you have the confidence that matches your physical appearance. And now, I mean, I've seen you in action. You pretty much go and talk to any girl that you think is attractive. And oftentimes that then translates into you going on dates with them and even starting dating and relationships with them, right? Which is a pretty crazy transition.
yeah, I mean, it just has to do a lot with confidence and like not being afraid to like stick your neck out there, be vulnerable and get rejected. Cause I've gotten rejected and even intentionally embarrassed myself in public many times just to like strengthen my mind and like get over that fear. And then once you get over that fear and you're willing to be rejected, you actually get rejected less, which it's kind of a paradox. So that's the trick for me.
Because I'm thinking people watching this, they might not necessarily just be focused on improving their relationships and their dating life, but what you're talking about, I think, translates to all areas of life, really, just changing your mindset, being more confident, being the person that you wanted to be. How did you do that? Because you talked about getting more confidence. What were you doing?
Like for me, it's been a lot about gathering evidence to prove to myself that I'm this person. It's like kind of step by step. So you start by saying hi to people, for example, or good morning. And then like, okay, I can do that. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm not afraid to do that. Maybe let's go ask for directions. And then from there, let's ask for directions and start a conversation. Now let's start a conversation with an old guy. And then let's get drunk and talk to a stranger at a bar. And then let's go to a bar not drunk and talk to strangers or something. And it's step by step, it kind of gets there. But I think the most important thing, like whether you're focused on like dating and like meeting women or not, is just becoming a generally more social, outgoing person. So like around the time where like I really started to break through, I was really just practicing just talking to everybody, like starting conversations at the gym or at the bar or just like giving out random compliments. Even if it doesn't feel genuine or it's cringy or like they don't hear, just get the gums flapping, just get that mouth moving up and down. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. It's just yeah, giving yourself permission to like embarrass yourself or like be embarrassed. And then paradoxically it happens less and less as you put yourself out there more. So
Yeah. Because you're not so holding so tightly to this thing that you perceive as a massive fear, right?
right, right. And it's like it's funny you realize like I used to be really afraid of like acting weird or like I thought I was quote unquote a weirdo or something. But I was really just shy and like really acting weird is like people only think you weird when you think you're weird. So you're like holding back or you're trying to act normal or you're being quiet and awkward. So like it's funny, it's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy basically, where like you think there's something wrong with you. So you don't act genuine or you don't act like yourself. And so people also think there's something wrong with you. And then you think there's something wrong with you. And it's like,
That's
so
what
you,
comes off clunky, right? You're trying to like be something that you're not, or you're second guessing yourself. And that's the thing that comes off weird. Whereas you can say anything you want, as kooky or out there as you want, but if it comes from the right place and it's just you,
yeah, yeah,
people just smell the authenticity on you, don't they? And it's like you could say the strangest thing, but if it's just from a relaxed, authentic place.
right, right. Yeah. It's all about like being genuine and being unfiltered and also being present as well. Like another thing that's like super crucial for me is like having a baseline of self-care exercise. Like before you even start working on like the social anxiety stuff or like shyness, like get to the fucking gym or start going on runs or calisthenics, um, and do that. That's like the most baseline thing. Get a physical hobby like a martial art or a sport or something that gets you out there, like meeting other people as well. And then meditation is great too, like, because at its core, a lot of like any like problems or mental illness is like at its core just caused by your thoughts. So if you can learn how to quiet your thoughts or like make more space, not identify with them as much, it makes it much easier to like change your brain essentially. So yeah, I think that's the main, that's like the foundation before you even get to social anxiety is exercise, get some hobbies, meditate, and journaling too. It's great. So yeah,
I love that, man. I love that. And that's part of the program that we go through as well, isn't it? Like getting the foundations in place, then working on to higher level mental stuff, then working on to higher level, wider lifestyle stuff. I want to be respectful of your time because I know you've got to actually jump on a flight. You're going back to the US today, right? So, before we wrap things up, would you be able to just pass on some guidance or some words to anybody who might be watching this, who's where you are? Maybe they're not, having relationships. Maybe they're isolated. Maybe they do think they're weird or strange or can't fit in or whatever, or is just very socially anxious. What would you say to someone?
I would say start working on yourself. Start working on yourself and then start putting yourself out there and look for the things that you're afraid of and like what's challenging for you. And then do those things intentionally, like do what scares you the most.
Perfect. I think that's the perfect line to finish on, man. So we could wrap it up there, and that's brilliant, man. And I fully agree. Just feel that fear wherever it is and lean into that place. So thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you jumping on this call and have a safe flight back to the US.
Okay, absolutely, man. It's been real.